ID minus -6. As
Oh,
we
okay.
are currently live. Hello, everyone. And
And shenanigans ensue.
before we go into our normal session of Dungeons and Dragons with our lovely pairs and introductions, me, the DM Aemon Doctor, wants to do a little sidetrack of what happens the night before everyone goes to sleep. In a dark area, there is two figures. One looks familiar, for she is the deity that our lovely, lovely fighter follows. The
Hmm.
other one is currently in shadows. They're sitting at a table. So, did you give them the information about the little one? Yes. Yes, it had. Hopefully, that little one does not cause too much trouble. For all we know, we knew what happened beforehand with the other people. Of course. As the unknown figures holds up a red gemstone. And it cuts to dark. And now back to you guys. Let's go around and introduce ourselves. Starting off with our oh so lovely Dawn.
So I'm Don, also known as the Imperial Inquisition on Steam, and I'm playing our lovely, well, partially lovely worker of entropy, weaver of the wilds, Harky, the wild magic sorcerer. Shit's gonna.
Hmm. Next on up, Logan.
Yes, thank you very much. Which I'm also known as Caster Belmont in this campaign, but please, please, let's just get on with it. I'm itching and to slay some enemies.
Alright, next on up is our every other week player, Free Huggles.
Hey, I'm Free Huggles. I am playing Iona, the Shadrakai cleric.
Alright, next on up is the only person who can actually be an aunt to our little centaur girl, Elliot, JR.
Hey, I'm JR, and I'm playing Eleonora, the Aarakocra Rogue.
And last, but certainly not least, a lovely, lovely fighter, Theo.
Hey, y'all, this is Rob. I'll be playing Archhand Silverscale today, the resident Silver Dragonborn Battlemaster fighter. And definitely looking forward to exploring a little bit more of Waterdeep and seeing what shenanigans we can get up to today. Well, mostly Harky.
And with that, I do want to give an update. A quick update on why our lovable halfling bard is not here with us today, or might join us a little later. She has, she needs some rest for today, so I'm giving her the day off for her to rest on up and have them time, get their stuff together. So they might come back in a few minutes. I don't know how long. So yay! So where do we start off with our lovely players the morning after everyone went around town and had some fun.
Since Eleonora had stayed back at the tavern while everyone else was shopping, I think she would have been the first into rest, and then by proxy the first to awaken. So that way she can prepare like everything that they need to all be able to wake up.
All right, all right. So roll me a nature check, an investigation. Roll me the combination of both of them.
Investigation might not be too bad of an idea. Nature, I'm not so certain.
There's a reason why I said nature.
And of course, the one I was worried about ends up being the higher of the two. 13 for nature, 8 for investigation.
Okay, so you scavenging around, uh, you are able to find a few uh, non-perishable goods that can be used for, you know, uh, re purposed into this morning's breakfast. You do find a couple of non-poisonous mushrooms, some beef jerky, as well as Mr. Uh, Hamrick's milk jugs and other uh, um, liquids incorporated branded lemonade.
It's not a 5-star banquet, but it'll suffice.
In addition, mm, yes, you only find those in the morning. While you're getting stuff ready, you hear a right on that door, on your guys' door. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
All right. She'll kind of get everything in a state where she can kind of leave it alone and then head for the door.
All right. Um, when you get to the door, you see your contact. Hey,
Oh, good morning, Officer Brands. I have to say it's very good to see you up and about after what you've endured in recent days.
I just, I just wanted to say thanks for what happened. Uh, it's been a rough few days. I decided to take a break for the week from the, you know, force to, you know, make sure I get all the rested up and I just, might bring you this. As she hands you, let's see, 1d5. She hands you a bouquet of flowers. thank you again. I appreciate you helping me out. If there's anything I can do, just, feel free to come on by. Make sure, and I'll do what I can for the best of my abilities.
Well, for the moment, I can't really blame you for wanting to take care of yourself after big, multi-eyed, and ugly was trying to poke around inside there. So, really, the only thing I can ask for you immediately is just keep taking care of yourself.
I appreciate that. All I have to do.
Um, before you go, I do owe you a bit of information because I hadn't forgotten how what we initially met with to begin with. We did find out where those weapons came from.
Oh, I'll see if I can pass it on to my contacts.
Yeah, they were originally in the property of the wizard Elminster before they were stolen, no doubt by the group of people responsible for both murders that have currently happened. And then, well, I think you can figure out who ultimately was the one behind it from what you had to endure.
Yes, of course. I can see what I can do.
All right.
Thank you again. As
Don't be
she,
a don't be a stranger.
of course, as she sort of casually strolls right out the door and off towards where you presumed her house would be.
Eleanor just kind of smiles, takes a look at the flowers on there, and immediately goes to find like something that she can like set them in, maybe like on one of the ends of the bar, so that they're like easily visible but out of the way.
Alright, roll me. You know what? Yeah, I would say you were able to find one of the vintage leftover vases from when it was rolled by the former ghost, and you were able to fill it up with water and place the flowers right on
Everything we can do to make this house a bit of a home.
them. And with that, let's move on to the rest of the group.
About what time in the morning would this have been that uh, Nora was up?
Well, she has a habit of course there are some nights that she's out later than others, particularly if she's having to do like thieving kind of thieving kind of duties. But whenever she's able to get to sleep at a decent hour, she always gets up like crack of dawn.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine,
Because
just
her the room that she picked out would have been one that has a window facing the rising sun.
mm, yeah. I think Archan probably, despite being out a bit later, just because of his own training, would have probably been woken up about the same time. However, before going downstairs, he's, just compulsively, first thing he does in the morning, he just starts checking all of his equipment, checks his chainmail, makes sure there are no rusty links, uh, checks his sword, his shield, polishes off any potential rust, sharpens his axe. Excuse me, yeah, I said his sword, his axe. Uh, checks everything before then strapping on what he feels he may need for the day. And I assume he would probably take at least an hour or two before doing that, or I mean while doing that. So after he finished that, he would head downstairs, quietly shutting the door, uh, so as not to awaken anyone else in his room.
All right.
The room that he claimed, and then probably missed Officer Branton is just coming down the stairs after she left.
Before you head on down, roll me a strength check to see how gently.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, strength or should? Okay, it's good. We'll just go, yeah, straight strength.
Okay.
How does a 24 do? Where's the 24? Where's the 24 when I needed to just rip the 2x4s off of the windows last week?
Yeah. I would say.
I ripped the door off its hinges. Ah, crap! I woke up the baby.
No, 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 no. I would
Yeah,
say that you were able. The higher the number, the better the result.
yeah, yeah.
So 24, you are able to get it pretty. Excuse me. Um,
Yeah, that's 18 plus 6 for our chance.
yeah.
So,
So you are able to gently close this door.
nice.
So
Okay.
no one in the room, nor anyone else in the entire, like, right next to you, um, the room right next to you, the room right behind you, nor any other place. They did not hear you whatsoever. Not even you. It was that quiet. As
Man,
you
if only I
had.
could be that. He's thinking to himself, if only I could be that stealth. If I had been that stealthy in times past.
He knows what it feels like to be a rogue.
Yes, yes, this is what it feels like. Maybe I should multi-class. No. Thank you.
Clearly learned something from the previous encounter from watching Nora.
Yes, yes, yes. From 2 weeks ago. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's right. Sneak.
Which, speaking of, as he's coming down the stairs, you'd be able to see Eleonora kind of finishing up what she was making there for breakfast, kind of humming to herself, and occasionally kind of looking over at the bundle of flowers and smiling a little bit.
Oh, Nora, you're awake too. Do you need a hand with anything? Ooh, what is that I smell? You found some food.
Yes, I found a few things. It's not, exactly five-star cuisine, but yeah. If nothing, if nothing else, I've learned that my time on the road, it's how to get a little creative with meager rations.
Oh, the stories I could tell about getting creative on the road.
And with that.
No, it smells delicious, though. I can certainly, it just smells delicious.
Alright.
Do we want to wait for everyone else, or is it just kind of, are you thinking just have at it as everyone comes down?
Harky scoots between Arjan's legs, attracted by the smell of.
Yes, we'll wait for you, little brother.
Just like kind of like followed the scent of the food, kind of like floating in air, like a cartoon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the old, yeah, like the old Disney cartoons. Just kind of. If only he had. If only he was. If only Harky was one of the the kobold with wings,
A
just kind of
nerd.
flapping along. Where they? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alright. So.
You never know. He could somehow stumble on a wish spell to make that happen,
Yeah.
or do something silly with it, like turn Arjan's tail into a cat tail.
You know,
Ah,
you do have something that could potentially grant you that.
And also 999 other things.
No, not that.
9,900. Yeah.
It's something else.
Yeah, I was
Given
gonna say,
to
I think it's
you
better to not.
like a few sessions ago.
Oh, those cards.
Those
Yeah.
cards that
Oh
have
crap.
only been
Right.
given once for
Yeah,
one night.
those cards which gave us a dancing night rather than dancing light.
Would you like to give it a chance?
Uh, Wait,
Yeah,
who has the cards in the first place? I think that's the
Harky.
first question.
Harky has the
Oh
cards.
crap. Oh crap.
You would like to give it a chance.
How many cards?
Let's risk it for the biscuit. 2.
Uh,
Alright.
oh my.
You get okay. So, the first card you drew. And I do not know how well this will happen. But um you draw comment. The the character must single-handedly defeat the next hostile monsters encountered, or the benefit is lost. If successful, the character gains enough XP to um, attain the next level, experience level.
Oh no.
And the second one. Okay. The next card you got was Fates. This card enables the character to avoid even an instantaneous occurrence if so desired. For the fabric of reality is unraveled and spun. Note that does not enable something to happen. It can only stop something from happening or reverse a past occurrence. The reversal is only for the character who drew the card. Other parties may have to endure the situation.
If I could turn back time.
So effectively, the wild magic sorcerer is able to unravel one thing that happened in the.
Yes. Any one occurrence, even if it's instantaneous at this moment, you can reverse it ever happening.
This is totally me saying something metagame, but please do not reverse anything yet. Hold on to that.
Yeah.
Harky will hold this power dear to him. He's got the power.
Yeah, I might need it in concert with that other card.
Alright. So, what are the other two people in our group up to at the current moment?
So Iona actually probably beat you all up because elf. But she's probably been sat outside, reading her scriptures, trying to make sense of them. Because half of her scriptures in her book are in a different language, so she doesn't necessarily understand them. So she's been trying to desperately decipher those to work out why on earth she's here. But yes, she's just kind of sat. There are some animal bones on the floor next to her with some feathers, and she's trying to decipher her book.
At any point in the morning, would Ellie and Nora possibly have noticed this?
Uh,
Possibly. She's been very still. She's just not moved. She's not far from the house. She's just.
Only her eyes are moving as she scans her scripture, other than when she flips a page.
Yeah. Well, she'll occasionally move like a bone or a feather round.
Hmm.
I'm the master of staying still. We're pulling a Drax.
No, what you need to do if somebody's a master of staying still is tickle their nose with a.
And what is
Don't tempt her. Yeah.
and what is our only human character up to?
Well, as of right now, just around the town, see if there's anything that people know about this Xanathar character, I believe, that we were trying to investigate.
All right. So let's get on to what the hell is our a gray person up to? All right. Iona, Eleonora, roll me. Uh, as an investigate perception check to see if you were able to see Prehuggle's character.
All right. I was going to try to do something with comprehend languages, but I just realized that is self-directed and cannot be used for other people.
Okay, yes, you
Ooh.
um you were able to see this very weird situation right outside your door of this odd-looking person setting up some bird feathers, bones, and reading scriptures. As this is quite not normal. You would expect this from the dead city, city of the dead, but not in this little general troll skull area.
But she would recognize it as Iona, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's going to go over to Iona and kind of uh, not trying to sneak up on her, like trying to blatantly go up to her to make sure that she's not scaring her, and just kind of tap her on the shoulder and go, Iona, there's food inside if you want it. I've managed to find some things to cobble together for breakfast.
Oh, you're all awake now. Oh, and she kind of closes her book. She's not hiding the book or anything like that. I can't remember if I can't remember if I've had it. I don't think I've had it out before. And she'll gather up the bits and put them in like a little pouch, and she'll stand and kind of brush herself off. Oh, that must mean it's morning now, I suppose.
Yeah, and
There's food?
yes, there is. I'm kind of curious as to what it was you were doing, though. I mean, Officer Grant was just by here and walked down this very road on here, and you were just still in your studies.
Well, I do get a little in depth with them sometimes. It's some of these make sense to me and some of these don't, and some new ones made sense to me. So I was trying to learn some of them. It can be quite difficult work when they're new, trying to understand what they'll do. She kind of smiles. She'll hold the book up. You'll see like there's a black feather on the leather-bound book. You've probably seen clerics with them. This is her spell book. I only learnt more spells.
Just kind of preparing for the day ahead. Then makes sense.
A little. Yes. though it is difficult to understand what the day ahead holds. She kind of. This is probably the most at rest you've ever seen her.
Hmm. Interesting.
Well, from my experience, sometimes not knowing what the day is going to hold sometimes leads to the most interesting outcomes. I'm not really that devout to follower of her, but I know Time War tends to have a very interesting way about her, and sometimes her luck's with us and with me, sometimes it's not.
She walks her own path, as we all must.
Indeed.
Hmm.
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 So we'll
That is
see what the day unfolds and march forward into it because I tend to believe that fortune favors the book.
true.
Ooh.
I don't suppose in this food you found any coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I find
Yeah.
coffee?
You find some preserved love families, breweries, almost magical instant coffee.
Do you know how expensive
Yes, I did
coffee
manage to find.
is?
I did manage to find some.
Oh, good. I must admit, it's the one thing I enjoy
Indeed.
here.
Did you know that a single pound of coffee beans could run you upwards of 50 to 60 gold?
She's an expensive habit, okay?
Yeah, coffee's an expensive habit in
Eleanor can respect that. I mean,
But in all serious stuff, it is, and right on the side, it says, under the property of the McKinnon clan.
Oh, this McKinnon clan.
Hmm?
She'll generally ask the group because I don't think she knows who this McKinley clan are.
I don't know for certain if Eleanor Nora would know who they are either. Is there anything I can roll for that?
Um, insight, or yeah, insight.
Yeah, if it's coffee, Archan wouldn't know anything.
That's a nerd.
Harky
Harky,
doesn't know coffee to save his life, but Eleonora does.
Harky, you know that this coffee is just good, down to earth. But Eleonora, you know this McKinnon clan is Let's go back to the big map.
Harky is sipping the coffee and twitch.
Oh no! Oh
Oh
no!
no!
We've given the
Please,
wild
yeah,
sorcerer
or
caffeine.
something caffeinated. Oh god, it's gonna be like Hammy from Over the Hedge. Give him a Mountain Dew, and then the world appears to stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got young nephews, so
I told you, I wish I could watch that movie again. But yeah, you would know that this McKinnon clan is a mix between centaurs, minotaurs, dwarves, and some of the more northern humans. And they all live right in these little islands right here. Or,
just
yeah, like these little islands.
Hmm. Oh, the McKinnon clan. Yes, I remember hearing about that. I was talking with some of the nobles of Waterdeep, like when I first got here. They reside on some islands that are a little north of here, along the coast,
Hmm.
along the coast. off of the Sword Mountains, and there's a whole bunch of different races there, including some like our dear little girl Laponia.
Oh, perhaps we don't tell them we drank their coffee, though. She smiles.
Well, on the other hand, if we establish friendly contact with them, maybe we could have a regular source for such a thing down here.
Hmm. Also true, I suppose. Is
Uh,
that how it works in this thing? If you kind of people trade things?
Oh, oh yes, I remember there was one of my fellow Aarakocra families from Loudwater who discovered how to create non-alcoholic beverages that have kind of a fizz to them. Since they couldn't drink them themselves, they decided to use that for trade out of Loudwater with towns like Secumber, Dragonsphere, and even some of the peoples who still live up in the Star Mounts.
Huh. Curious. It looks like she's just like learnt something. That's kind of the expression you get back from her. As I guess we're kind of wandering back inside.
hmm. And with that, and the bonus thing, Eleanor, you know this clan is divided up into smaller families, and and everything you just said is theoretically true. They are open for they are willing to trade. However, there was one thing that I forgot to bring up. The Love family, the heads of the each household, is run by a female, a strong one,
Right.
and each
A
title's yeah,
Matriarchal societies.
yeah, and it's like each like the main leader is like a minotaur of the family. So just a little bitty backstory thing, so you would potentially have to deal with later.
Yeah.
Whereas
Now, if we do go up there to get in contact with them, keep in mind that many of the families there are matriarchal, and some of them are run by a uh, matriarch Minotaur. So we may uh, we may have to contend with that in some way, either intellectually or maybe even in some degree physically.
Mighty,
Oh,
mighty Minotaur.
well, like you said, I guess each day is interesting here.
well, if it comes to it, we do happen to know a Minotaur, Zaryutok, who, if we need to speak with them and travel to the islands, should we desire to establish trade, perhaps
Prob
they could come.
Problem. Sorry, talk male. Tribes clan led by.
But perhaps the female Minotaurs would at least better respect the strength of a male Minotaur than a non-Minotaur. I don't know
Uh,
enough about societies, so
if we're going to take a gamble, it never hurts to hedge our bets.
Quite.
And with that, let's um host roll me two rolls. Uh, Investigation and uh uh I initiative, but you're not going into combat.
Okay. So for investigation, thank God my bonus is +5, and I am quite proficient in investigation. 16 plus 5, that's a total of 20.
Uh,
Okay, and my initiative for this one is oh fudge me in the ass. Natural one of the roll +2, so that's 3 for initiative.
okay. So, you, while going on out, you're able to gather that Xanathar is not a person that you want to trifle with. He is a gang um, uh, leader who does send out goons who um, murder, kill, and other assortments to try to silence people.
Hmm. Now that's something I do not want to mess with.
Unless you want to get in contact with them for a job. However, you do get on hand some information about potential locations of meetup places.
Well, that's good news in some way.
And with that, that takes roughly about I don't know 3 hours. And with that, let's get back to the rest of the group. So you guys had a pretty decent breakfast that Eleonora made.
And all the while, Eleanor would be letting letting him know that Officer Grant was by, and seems to be up and doing well, but kind of decided to take a leave on there. And every now and again, she'd still be kind of looking over at the flowers on the bar and subtly smiling.
Alright, roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Me or everyone else?
Anyone who's looking at the flower pot.
Sure. 14.
Alright, I would say everyone who's looking over to the flowers were able to see, um, especially Archan and Eleanor, used to see like a partial letter. Iona, you see a partial top portion of what you presume to be a letter.
I must have missed this earlier when Officer Brant gave them to me. And Eleanor realizes what she says and then just kind of shuts up half in embarrassment.
Anyone want to get it?
If Archan had eyebrows, he would have just kind of cocked one up, doing the Spock thing, and then he would walk up and just kind of clasp it between the thumb and what amounts for a forefinger for a dragonborn, and pulled it out of the flowers, and hoping that explosive runes is not written on it. Oh wait, I'd have to read that. Never mind. He would just pull it out and then hand it over to Nora.
All right.
Nora's
I'm
gonna.
guessing that was meant for you or us, but I'll let you read it.
Yeah, probably. And Eleanor will go ahead and open it up.
Alrighty. You see some odd lettering on the piece of paper. Suddenly, there's this blue figure right on the top. Pops up from the card.
Do all of us see this? Or does
Yes.
just Nora? Okay.
Everyone who is currently in the room is able to see this happening. And you see this figure looks almost identical, other than its size and some fewer details like the skin color and hair color. It is a smaller version of the contact. And she looks around the room. I assume that this is being read by both Iona's, Eleonora's, and her companions at the moment. There's a lot more that I want to discuss. However, at the current moment, I fear that things might not be in the best of straits, as I doubt that Xanathar might be watching over me at every chance. It could potentially not only endanger both my life, but um, the little ones and Wunley's little pet. When I was down in the vault area, I learned some. I learned where they were selling majority of those weapons that were used. I definitely know that one of them has been kept for their own purposes, but two of them have been auctioned off to two major gangs or thugs. I don't even know. And it might be for the best that you would know that there could potentially be more of these crimes in the future. In the hologram, poofs right into the air and burns, disintegrating in the air into nothing, leaving only a bit of ashes as it goes down. But as it reaches the floor, nothing's left.
Oh, that's a little.
In retrospect,
Disturbing.
maybe I should have asked her to stay.
Well, if she felt it unsafe, it's not likely she would have.
Archan crushes whatever cup, whatever he's holding in his hand, he crushes. On a strength check of 20, he crushes it at the name of Xanathar.
Should have asked her to stay. Should have asked her to stay. Should have asked her to stay.
Did you see where she was going?
Remind me if she had mentioned where she was going after she had left.
No. But
Yeah,
I did
I
say that they did. Uh,
appeared to be in the direction of her home.
yes.
Yeah, and she did mention that she had decided to kind of take a leave from the Waterdeep Guard for a while, kind of a rest from it to, for lack of a better phrase, detox from us.
Yeah.
Harky, you're a magic user. Do you know any spells that you can use? Contact the officer.
Mm. He squints, crosses his eyes. Nope, not right now.
For those who are not
Ooh.
magically inclined, or semi magically inclined, roll me an investigation check. If you
I
want to.
might,
Oh,
I might know one of the spells I managed to decipher this morning. I, I would need to study on it, maybe tomorrow, but I believe it will allow me to communicate over large distances, but in short bursts.
That
That is
okay.
definitely something that I would encourage you to keep working on, so we can have that on hand. It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's going to be able to help us immediately, though.
No, I believe I would need to kind of relearn, perhaps. Some study tomorrow morning would help me.
Eleanor just kind of puts one of her hands up to her head right now.
for those who want to try to get in contact with her and are not magically inclined, or semi magically inclined, roll me an investigation. And for those who are want to try to get in contact with her, roll me an arcana check.
I'm going to roll both because while Eleanor did take a level dip into Bard, she's was really kind of focusing on bolstering her own skills with most of her spells, her
Alright.
own needs. So I'm going to roll both Arcana and Investigation.
Hark is derping out right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Herky has been derping out on a majority of like the insight and arcana.
Okay,
Natural
so
art hands investigation.
yeah,
Okay.
uh, yeah, 11 Arcana, 13 Investigation.
20 Arcana.
All right. Um, Eleanor. Um, Nora, you would know that in this big city, there are methods of getting in contact with people that are magically inclined. Or not magically inclined, but are far more easier to get in contact with uh, in the city. That quicker. Iona, you know that for cities like these, usually there are some method of magically getting in contact for people who are not magically inclined as yourself. And usually it comes from, you know, having a stone sort of near the door. However, since this house has not been so used in quite a bit. You do not know exactly where this place will be. This device will be.
Fair.
Can we go outside to take a look for it?
I think
Sure.
Iona just kind of starts getting up and like walking around walls, just like no, no, and she'll turn back to you. When I first came, there was this house very similar to this. It had a stone thing, and you could. The owner said they could contact people with it, and she's just like looking around the room, like going from room to room, just kind of looking for it.
Okay, so between Iona and I, we know what it is that we're looking for. Can I use a perception check to see if I can find it?
Honestly, the only thing going through my head right now is ring, 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 bananas.
I think Archan, as soon as Iona mentioned looking for something in the house, in the manor, would call out, Leaf, go, Leaf, where are you? We need your help? He would call out to the ghost, the former owner.
Oh, this is. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him last time.
Just to forewarn you, he is a mute ghost, so he kind of is getting a little handle on the fact of communicating in people without being able to talk to them as a ghost. So don't be
And
frightened.
and you see a little. Where would you be currently look at Free Huggles?
I guess she's probably gone out. Like she'd figure it'd be like somewhere near the hallway, so she's probably wandered that way.
All right. You see in the hallway, starting scratching, H-E-L-L-O. And we have our lovable bard, Jack. Woo!
Hey.
Hello, hello.
All right.
And he's
Well,
kind of. It's a pleasure to meet you. I guess.
right.
Looking around.
While Ione is talking to Leaf, Eleanor is going to be kind of trying to look around for what she described. Would I get any kind of advantage on this roll from knowing what it is that we're looking for?
Yes. Investigation.
Oh,
That would work.
I was going to say
Um,
I just rolled perception with advantage, and that was a 20. I can roll investigation too if you prefer that one.
yeah. This as well.
22, even better.
Yeah. You would know that for these older types of buildings that have not been used in quite a bit, it is going to be currently located right near Winley's room, near the top. Whereas normally in these buildings would be right near the front entrance.
Which, speaking of, we should probably quickly catch up.
Yes. Who would love to give our oh so lovely bard a brief synopsis of what has been happening the past hour or so?
Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna say I've got some notes. See, we started off with a brief intro with I'm gonna say her name, Tamara, and some other deities sitting together. There was some conversation about Striz, if I got the illusion correctly. Striz, the baby goblin, and then a small red gem was passed between them. Let's see. and then we just kind of ran through some of the, what everyone was doing as the new day was dawning. Eleonora was up before everybody else at the crack of dawn. Archan was up, checking all of his equipment. Iona was up before everybody else outside studying her spell book. And then Castor apparently I'm guessing either never came back or just got up way earlier than everybody else and went out to investigate Xanathar. See, Eleonora was cooking. Harky came to, everybody came down. Harky came down like a cartoon character on the wind and drew 2 cards from the certain deck of cards that was given to us. Drew the Comet and the Fate. He has to single-handedly defeat. Well, that's not it. Never mind. See, then coffee. We've been discussing building a trade relation with McKinley Can and McClellan Can clan. I'll have to get the spelling for that for my notes. For coffee, Castor learned a little bit more about Xanathar and how we can contact the gang. Then we read a letter from Brant, who had actually come and left some flowers with Eleonora. Debated. I wrote down what.
Wait, hold up. Brant gave Eleonora flowers? Oh!
Yeah.
Sorry. I pulled a bit of a Tarantino there. Yeah. Brant came and gave some flowers, but there was a letter in it seen by Archan and Eleonora. Archan, I pulled out the letter, gave it to Nora, and then basically, here are my notes. She fears for her life. Xanathar may be watching. Possible danger to her, to the little ones. I wrote it. Striz and Aponia, as well as, I'm guessing, Cullen was what was intended. Learned about the sale of the murder weapons. They kept 1. 2 have been auctioned off to at least 2 gangs.
Oh shit! Hang on. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, no worries. Be mindful of future crimes. And that's pretty much, be mindful of future crimes because 2 gangs in Waterdeep have 2 of the weapons. And that's about where you came in. We're searching for, this is going to be meta game. Yeah, Sending Stone. Going to be looking for a Sending Stone. At which point, Archan basically called out to the ghost to ask where it was.
Yeah. So the ghost is right next to sorry, something in my mouth. Yeah, right next to Iona at the moment as he scratched the hello one. The phone is next to Winley's room. That's where we are currently.
And you can see Eleonora is kind of in. You have never seen her this worried before. Most of the time, even when she's more relaxed, she's very collective and laid back. That after getting the letter and realizing the implications of it, she is as worried as she's ever been.
Mm-hmm. We'll say, what? Sorry, Amon, did you say that I was just out and now I'm back? Or what?
I would say this is in the wee mornings sort of time. I would say no later than 10 p.m. So, I would say that you are still in bed or getting ready for the day.
You mean 10 a.m.?
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Okay, in the morning. Okay. What was there about Tamara, the goddess Tamara?
Basically, we started off with a small interlude where Tamara, or well, as Amen put it, a goddess worshipped by the resident fighter, so Tamara, and some other deity who's cloaked in shadow were sitting at a table chatting. And they were discussing the situation with Striz, the baby goblin. And then if I heard correctly, a small red gem was passed between.
Oh,
So that was more,
okay.
that wasn't. We were none of us were present for that. That was more of an the
I see.
intro.
Because
Yeah.
today was the day that Wenli had arranged that thing with, she said she wanted to take Archan somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that was going to happen today.
Yeah.
So are we just saying that Wenli took a little longer to wake up then?
Sure, if you want. It depends on what you want to do.
I think, well, I think she would have got early, but like, she has to work with Columbine and make arrangements with her other fellow actors, all that kind of stuff. So we can say she was out doing that.
Don't
Well,
worry,
you guys.
Eleanor managed to save some food for her.
Yeah. Let's just say
Aw.
you got up roughly around when Eleonora got up, or a little bit beforehand,
Okay.
and you
So
were.
Wenli comes back. Is Columbine allowed inside the house, you guys? Inside the tavern?
I'm cool with it.
I have no
Okay.
complaints.
Okay. So
You can probably set up,
uh,
a sleeping area somewhere
yeah,
up
that's
on
what
the
I was
living quarters,
thinking.
and then maybe keep an area down in the basement for Columbine to be able to run around and play, as
Yes,
need be.
exactly. So there's a big old like badger bed in one corner.
Hmm. Well, and let's just
And
say something I excluded from the quick rehash. Archan, when he woke up, spent some time quietly, compulsively but quietly checking his equipment, and then he shut the door ever as quietly as possible, which was actually more stealthy than he's ever been, so as not to wake up anybody else in the room. He didn't
Aw,
realize that. Yeah, he didn't realize that maybe one or two others were missing.
that's really thoughtful. I we were talking, and it did occur to me that um oh, never mind. There was just a little personal detail I thought to mention. But anyway, so when we come back from her morning errand and presumably finds Eleonora fretful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And immediately goes up to her and kind of like reaches way up to rub her back and says, "What is going on? You look upset."
Long story short, Officer Brown's here brought me flowers. Very nice flowers. Also had the letter, had a little more information that she had found out. Not about the weapons having been sold to a couple of the gangs in the city. She is afraid for the lives of the little ones in Colin Bean, but good. The fact that Xanathar was poking around in her head, I'm really more concerned about her at this moment, and I really think that we should try to get a hold of her. So I'm trying to find the sending stone to get it to work so that we can get a hold of her.
Oh, shush, 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 shush. And like Wenley will like straight up climb up on a chair or a bench or something, like climb up on something to give Eleanor a big, big hug and like just pets her feather and is like, "It's all right. There's no need for, well, I mean, look, you're not helping anything. getting all frantic. Officer Brandt is strong and smart, and I know she'll take good care of herself. She was fooled once, won't be again. We'll help her, but there's nothing to be gained by falling apart. Also, let's go back to the part where she sent you flowers.
Eleonora just kind of looks over it and when smiles a bit, but doesn't look like any less worry has drained from her face.
She thinks that we're all in danger. All of us. Right?
Right, and she has taken a leave from her duties at the guards because of what she went through. Who wouldn't need some time to process and heal after that, and that's what's got me the most worried about it. Her house was already invaded once and turned upside down. And while I may trust her when it comes to the guard, we've met some of the other people in the Waterdeep Guard, and I don't. And honestly, I would put more trust in my rapier and dagger than some of them, especially that one certain captain that we were so easily able to sway.
Yes, the captain. Well, he's a good sort of man, just maybe not the most. Wenley kind of struggles for a second on how to say this without being really mean. Maybe a bit. Well, he had a good heart at least.
Eleanor just kind of looks at Wenley. You don't have to be diplomatic with me, right?
I don't know that he was the brightest. Also, he broke his own city's laws, which doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I mean, I like it when a god can be swayed. It suits me fine. But it doesn't make it easy to trust him afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
Even so
can
I would
bring Brad
feel better
here.
if we were able to get Brat here, because honestly, at a time like this, I feel safety in numbers is better.
Right. But listen, we don't know that it's any safer here, except that we are also here. We must have a meeting and really think if we want to stay here. If there's anything knows we're here, if we're in danger, we might have to send Debbie away, which is no good at all. She just finally found a home. We must talk about what we're going to do, but first, if you like, I will go with you to Officer Bratt's house and try to persuade her to come here and stay with us. I will even help you pretend that you only want this for her safety.
I mean, she brought me flowers. I think the time for pretense. That's.
All right, so what? So
I'm sorry, I kind of ran over us talking to the ghost because of that. I'm sorry.
it's all good.
You cut out a lot, so it was kind of hard for me to figure out what you were saying, but
I said I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for running over us talking to the ghost.
Oh.
The ghost was, you know, totally chill. He knows that, he wants to make sure his new hosts are, doing okay since no one was in the bar for quite a bit.
Iona is fascinated and is probably asking Leaf lots and lots of questions
All right. Um,
whilst you guys were talking.
what kind of questions are you asking?
So I think she would start asking, like, is this his, but like, whether he knew whether this was his journey, did he want to be here?
Uh,
He's a ghost and she's a grave cleric.
hmm.
Kind of, it kind of doesn't sit well, but she's not going to force him to take a journey he doesn't want to.
You see it on the wall, sort of sketched, and the paint from the hello is magically fixed. And you say, "I rather stay here since it is my duty to keep this place up and running ever since, even after death."
Fascinating. Like, this, and then the conversation just spirals whilst those two guys are having their kind of conversation. Like, she's very curious.
Roll me. Let's use a weird thing. Um, what is your stats? Let's see. Uh, roll me a charisma check.
Oh, that is a 7.
All right. So yeah, so you get, you know, 7 questions in about, you know, what about him, what the hell is happening, does he enjoy staying here? Normal um, sort of questions you would ask about to a ghost before he's, says, "I need to start helping out with the
Yeah,
bar."
she's completely forgotten to ask about the stone
Uh,
at this point.
but yes, I would say that Eleonora, with their two previous roles, the perception and investigation, you did find it right next to Winley's room.
Oh, what did you find next to my?
I
Magical.
guess kind of like a sending stone, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, did I know it was there? Was that my? I'm so. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Um, for your guys' knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
since this house is brand new, and since you're cleaning up everything, you have not noticed this until now.
Okay.
And at this point, you did not even know that it was for that purpose.
Yeah, when we were trying to find quick ways to communicate, and we remembered kind of a magical communication network that most houses in Waterdeep have with each other. We just couldn't find it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wow. All right. Cool. So we have a sending stone.
We have an answering machine.
Nice.
And
As long as it's not a fact.
No, it's just a pager. It just beeps incessantly at you.
What about a magically enchanted
Constantly flashing 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
a fax fox?
All right.
I'm
So-
holding up for a fax fox.
So, who's going to take
Please,
a look
you
at
wonder
this?
what the fox says.
Sorry.
It's all good. So, who's going to take a look at this phone or pager thing?
As soon as Eleanor is able to find it, and as soon as she sees a break in Iona's conversation with Leaf, she's going to call Iona over. And possibly Harky too, just to get, everyone who's got magical ability that's in the house all over there to make sure we can get it working.
Harky's coming.
uh, who wants to pick it up?
Archan's still gripping that crumpled whatever, that crumpled tankard in his hand down in the bar room. Just kind of, after calling for Leaf, he's just kind of staring off into space, gripping that tankard. So he's going to be nowhere near that sending stone. He is just thinking of Xanathar.
Oh dear. I think Wenli have to go down to Archen after she tried to comfort Eleonora and we found the sending. Wait,
Will we need to get
Eleonora was what?
Eleanor was in the main entryway, and then everyone else. Archan was still sitting in what is essentially the bar room where they were having breakfast.
Right. But
on a 20 strength check, he crumpled whatever drinking vessel he had. He crushed it in his hand. Had the name of Xanathar on the note from Brand.
But what I'm asking is, JR, you were cutting out a bunch when you first mentioned the sending. Were you saying I have to find it, or I have to?
No, we know where it is. It's right by your room.
Okay, so what was Eleanor saying about the sending stone in that first little rant or vent?
Well, admittedly, it was kind of running by. But she was going to try to use that to get a hold of Officer Brand.
Okay. Thanks. Because you were cutting out a lot, and I kind of had to try to put together what you were saying by little bits here and there.
In fairness, I was deliberately going rapid fire with that.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
To be very clear, I was not criticizing. Just I had to ask for clarification.
Yeah. I'm just saying I'm not surprised it cut out when I was going so fast.
So as hearing, having dealt with that, being like, it's okay, we'll use the sending stone to contact her, we'll figure it out. If we can't contact her with the sending stone, we'll just go over there, it's fine. She'll stop by and check on Harky really quick and be, you alright? And then head over to Archer.
I think we need to get Archan a stress beholder.
Oh yes, I think. And Wenli knows what to do. She just literally climbs up on the bench and kind of keeps herself over Archan's back and wraps her chubby little arms around his neck and just holds him close and calms him down. And is just it'll all come out in time.
He's probably. I imagine he's. As I'm embodying the character, I'm actually just imagining pretending to crush the cup or whatever it was in his hand, and he's shaking, staring out a
Yeah.
window. Just the thought of finding Xanathar. And so Wenley's arms going around him do slowly calm him down, and then slowly dips his head. And like a Klingon, he can cry because he doesn't have tear ducts.
He what?
I said like a Klingon, Star Trek 6, Klingons don't have tear ducts. So like a Klingon, he would cry if he could. I mean, that's how emotional, which is very foreign to him. Still,
Oh, so she
wants,
will kind of look this way and that to make sure that like nobody is looking for the moment, and then like press a kiss onto his face and then say, "I'm here and I won't leave you."
All right. Roll me
But what?
sleight of hand.
Are you? Oh my god! Are you making me roll to stealth smooch?
Yes.
I can't even.
Yes.
Fine. I'll roll to stealth smooch. I'll do it. I have sleight of hand. I got that.
just say, but no. Here's the question: what are the passive perceptions of everybody else, and are they in the room? So
19.
passive perception.
Although I'm
And
willing
there's
to
a
roll
door in the way.
I'm willing to roll a perception with disadvantage on this because Eleanor's mind is otherwise.
I
Yeah,
am not
awesome.
asking for the players. That's
Nat 20. Nat 20. 20.
Nice.
Smooch on our chan.
unfortunately.
Oh, really? The baby goblin.
Not only the baby goblin, but Aponia.
Oh.
Both went out of your guys' room. And so, Wenley, give a kiss to Archan.
She saw Mommy and Daddy smooching.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And they slowly. Well, to be frank.
Let me guess. Things didn't go well.
To be frank, the goblin does not know what the hell he's even doing. He's just mimicking Aponia.
It's like the episodes of Friends when Chandler, is trying to hide from it. When they're trying to hide from everybody that they're together.
But yes, Aponia starts saying, and when the Archan sitting in a tree, KISSING.
Oh my god.
First
Of
came a
course,
dragon, then came a goblin, then came
Oh my god.
Gainard.
Wenley just goes like red and says, "Eppy, you little no!" And kind of just starts like it's just like I'm gonna get you. Yes,
Just for kicks, I rolled a perception check to see if I'd be able to hear this.
16.
And even with
Oh my
disadvantage, I got a 16.
Harky heard it.
Nice. Oh, Harky got a 22.
And that 16 was with disadvantage. I deliberately rolled disadvantage because I figured Eleonora would be distracted, and yet somehow she still picked up on it.
Well, hey,
Yeah, I believe that even without doing a perception check, you guys would have definitely heard Aponia point this out and start chanting, patronizing the two, seemingly out of nowhere. It
being
doesn't make you
trolled
look.
by the
Tony,
Does this thing work?
what are you talking? And at which point they would probably hear Archan say, "What do you mean? I have yet to find a tree that could hold my weight."
Oh man. Willie is very relieved to hear him laugh and joke. And she just gives him like a tight, tight hug and is like, there we go. Welcome back.
Eleanor,
That was also a pre-live stream comment that I made. So
Oh, that's
Eleanor just goes, okay, that's
Yeah.
adorable. Now, how does this thing work?
All right.
and just as a side, this is about when she whispers into his ear that she still has someplace she wants to take him today. And when he's ready, once they figure out what's up with the officer, of course, but she's like, I have someplace I want to take.
All right. So
and he would nod and whisper back, "Yes, as soon as we can."
all right. So by this point, Casper does come back to the hotel, and Eleanor picks up the phone, the sending stone, and
And
right on.
and Waterdeep phone numbers go by last name, first name, and then a number. So she just kind of inputs Brant, Sylvania, 65000.
Oh
I
my god. So silly.
actually it does not.
Do
It
you
does
just think of who you want to talk
no. It works just like our normal phone system in the U.S., where each
I was
district
going old
has
school with
its
it.
own identification. Uh, so, for example, for your guys' area, and specifically your guys' phone number, the first person is 111, followed by a random 7-digit code. For example, your guys' last 7 digits are 253 dash 5364.
I was about to say, I never heard of a phone thing that was a 253. Oh shit.
Oh shit. Um, However, you do not know her phone number. Want to take a guess on what um on what
What do I have the roll to kind of intuit it?
uh roll 70 tens. Or 79 79s.
I swear, if we roll 3 6s in a row, I'm calling us Asmodee.
Okay, so it's 2922639.
Okay, so 1 1. So
You try to call
and
that. You hear, hello, this is Goblin Pizzas Incorporated. May I take your order?
I'm sorry, I seem to have dialed the wrong number. Click.
Alright. Want to try a different random number?
Wait, random numbers? How do like we think of the number as we're
Well,
trying to
yeah,
imagine?
like, aren't there like some context clues we can figure out by maybe like
I
knowing
I
where the area that
don't.
Brant?
How does the sending stone work differently from like the message spell and the sending spell, stuff like that?
Uh, Here's what I can explain for this system.
Okay.
Let's imagine a whole sort of city, just like Waterdeep. But if they're not connected to um, like if they're connected through different sit like um there's like a one centralized message system where people uh magical ability people are able to like connect one phone number, one sending stone to another so people won't have to, you know, get in contact with each other. So what would be like
On a,
if you want to call someone, for example, let's say um, a barkeep from this little area wants to call someone down in the docks, right down here, for a shipment that's coming on in, then they will be able to get dial up the dock workers or the dock person using their dedicated phone number, and then the people in there magically fuse the energy from each place, so they would able to have their person talk. And I do believe that like send thoughts and stuff have like a specific like requirement or something.
The
So
only requirement that sending has as a spell is it being on the same plane of existence.
oh
You have to be familiar with their target. Familiar is, a little bit wobbly and yeah, but you definitely have to have clear, uh, a clear, solid idea of who you're trying to contact, and you have to be on the same plane.
on a 19 perception, does Archan hear Nora just randomly dialing, quote, dialing with the sending stone?
yes.
And on an 18 insight, does Archan, would Archan be able to suggest dialing for the operator to connect them immediately to Brand's house or to the Waterdeep guard to contact Officer Brand?
Oh, for to get in contact with um thank you Potato uh for hosting, but
Cheers, mate.
uh let's see. Just like in the real life, there is a way to contact. Like anyone knows about how to contact the citywide guards, and this is for like magical and non-magical beings. Like for example, like
Why don't we?
Wait, is there a directory inquiries number?
yes,
Yeah,
right next to it
yeah.
is
I'm
the
presuming someone else would know that. Iona probably wouldn't.
yeah.
But
To get in contact specifically to the city guards, it is
Oh, but we don't want, we're worried about the city guard being infiltrated,
Yeah,
aren't we?
Wenley's like, why don't we just go over there, go to a house, and see her instead of fiddling about with this when we don't know how to work.
Oh, and then maybe we could, if we need to, send the message quickly without being there, maybe we could then get her contact number.
Sure.
Oh, and if the city guard is potentially infiltrated by Xanathar's lack, who's to say that the central communication network isn't also infiltrated? If we try to send a message to Officer Brand, they could, Xanathar could know. I think we need to find a more mundane mean communicating with her.
With Columbine, I can move pretty fast. Do you want me to go? You know, I'll just go. I'll go and find her.
There is a worried look on Archan's face at that. Harky,
Yes.
would you go with the two of them? And then Archan, looking at when King Columbine carry two.
Well, two little
Yours.
ones. We're both small
Harky.
enough.
Out of character, really quickly, what is Columbine's run speed?
I have no idea, but I imagine badgers are pretty faster than walk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because I was going to say,
probably, what,
if you're riding Columbine and I'm flying, we can kind of get roughly equivalent speed, possibly if Columbine is running.
Yeah, and Columbine is very sturdy and could just probably run the whole way. So
and I can carry a smaller creature than myself since I'm not wearing medium or heavy armor.
Well,
that counts,
what happens in winter though? Because when Lee is mounting up and getting ready to go, she kind of sets her pack over her arm and
well, and I remember too, Castor was supposed to be coming in at this point, right? So is he hearing all? He's hearing all of this going on. Probably the debate over: do we take send Harky and Wenley on Columbine? Do we
Friendship is magic, Cream Puff.
Thank you for following Potato Hollow.
Yeah. So I think Archan would probably probably look at Nora, thinking maybe we can send the two of them ahead on foot, and you can fly above. I can follow behind at regular speed. We'll all head over there. Of course, we should. Well, Leaf can probably watch the bar.
No, Archen, someone needs to stay here just in case, yeah?
Oh, kids.
I can stay here if you would like. Though, if the worst, you may need a cleric.
No, I've got Columbine with me and Taki. I'll be.
I can stay behind and watch the kids. But the rest of you be safe.
After all, there's only so much they can do in broad daylight. Nah.
Don't
From
worry.
what I've
we'll
heard,
blow up
it's Xanathar.
any thug.
We'll go carefully. I hope that my suspicions are incorrect and that Sylvania, Officer Brandt is not in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Harky noticed.
Because I don't know what
real
I'm going to
eyebrow.
do if I find her injured.
I'll leave right now.
Archan would definitely quirk the proverbial eyebrow at that.
Right.
Yeah.
When Leah's like, ooh.
Wow.
But
Harky's going to look over to Eleanor and wiggle his
all
own
good.
Hang on. Harky was trying to talk.
But yeah, all I was just saying was Harky just gonna look over to Eleanor and wiggle his eyebrows at that slip of
And Wenley will reach up and give her cheek a pat and say, I'm leaving right away. Don't fret. And then she'll take off. Pa 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 pa.
All right. So I would assume that it will take you guys roughly from point A up here to, in more the northern portion of the city,
Right.
all the
Sure.
way down to where Officer Brandt is, is currently stationed. I would
Mm-hmm.
say in total, on average, you guys got there at uh, about 45 minutes.
Okay.
Eleanor is flying the entire way, completely oblivious to any people on the ground who might be looking at her weirdly.
But I'd say Archan would have, before Eleonora left, Archan would have grasped her hand and said, "You have my contact. If you need assistance, let them know, and if it's dire, they can let me know, and I will be there as soon as possible." And then let her go.
Eleanor will just kind of nod and then head out the door, and as soon as her feet hit the road, up into the air.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you guys do arrive there in roughly 45 minutes. You see, right on the outside, two men sitting next to a table. They're sitting like across from each other on a table, and you see Officer Brandt with them, playing what you guys presume to be uh, goblin poker.
Goblin poker.
Yes.
Uh, Wenley kind of bursts in and says, "Oh, right, you're fine. It's good to hear."
Eleanor kind of stopped like a walk away to just kind of compose herself, kind of straighten up her clothes.
Well, glad to see that you all are doing well. I would like to introduce you to my two companions. Random name generator.
Uh,
Jeff Tweety, and Wilco.
Rocco?
Wilco and Jeff Tweety.
Wenley definitely side eyes these guys and is like, right. Well, we've come to ask uh, if you would like to come stay with, for mutual protection and safety, given, the current sort of state of things.
Well,
Yes, I have to admit, I have been greatly concerned after recent events with what's gone on, and I'll just just I I would like that to be the case, though.
What Ella is trying to say is that she would especially like to have you close at hand, just to know you're sort of all right. And maybe she would feel a lot safer also if you were there, you being so big and strong and all like you are.
Winley.
What? I speak the truth. She kind of gives this like
If birds were
innocent look,
capable of
like
blushing, if birds were capable of blushing, Eleanor would be blushing right now.
Winley, best wing woman ever. And
Wing
I
woman.
will to host.
All right, you see, Officer Brandt stand on up, brushes off, you know, some crumbs, beer, um, a tankard that was laying on her lap, placed it on the table, like, and she walks up to Eleanor and gives her a peck on the cheek.
Ah!
The little blurb pops up. Harky will remember this.
And right
Yes,
at that
I will
moment,
remember.
uh, little baby Gobbo Scrat pops on up with what you guys presume to be an image recorder.
A
Hence,
what?
an image recorder.
Oh no. What?
And boops the top of it. And you see a slight flash as he poofs away.
Oh, that little menace.
And you hear him giggle as he teleports away. And clearly he's cut from Harky's cloth at this point for troublemaking.
Eleanor's not even paying attention to it. She's just kind of quietly saying to Officer Brandt, Sylvania.
Well, I do appreciate the offer, but I do have some new upgrades to the house. However, um, I do appreciate your offer. Would you like me to show you what I have in store if, something would occur like what happened?
Oh, I'd be very interested in knowing. And also, just in case, we need to get in touch with you, or in case of some kind of emergency, maybe your number on the city communication network?
Well, let me go grab a piece of parchment. And you see her write down a series of numbers and letters. And a little, and right on the bottom of the note, it says A equals 1. Just so things will not get too, uh, so this won't get into bad hands. Here, as she reaches out her hand and grabs your, you know, talons, and puts it in your hands and folding it over her hands with her talons. Now, someone, would presume to enter in my house without permission, which all of you, especially that little weird goblin, um, all of you do have permission to come in and out. But let's say it's someone who I do not know. That
Hmm?
door
Hey, Don.
will provide both a short tremor around the base and the sound effect of a few orcs. And if they do come on in somehow, I hope they are resistant to thunder. Because every single place here as a magical rune that can go off and kill majority of people who can actually enter in here with almost one shot, or severely damage them if they do. Take this piece of meat. She picks up like a big ham in one hand, and chucks it right towards the window. And you see it go as it gets extremely fried to the point of it being like instantaneously cooked. And she goes on over, grabs the turkey, and you see it like it's charred beyond consumption. And like you see, if someone
The,
and I would
the
say
more naive, the more naively members of this particular group right now will look at Eleanor and think she's just has a really impressed look. Winley would probably look on Eleanor and see that the look on her face is something akin to "Holy crap, I'm in love."
Oh no, she's got it bad.
Unfortunately, family just roped me into something. I'll be gone for about fucking half an hour, if not more, driving down the road.
Oh no. Okay, well take
Yep.
care.
it's take care. We're actually about to end our two sessions in a bit anyway. So, anything you want to say to people before you head on out?
And just the usual, you can find me on Steam as the Imperial Inquisition with the flaming Zerg symbol from StarCraft. You could also find me on Discord at Asmodan412 at 9026. Hype in for Diablo 4, and I am out. Peace!
Auf Wiedersehen.
But in all honesty, you you guys here in the back of Eleonora's mind, and I'm gonna say, like this cell from DBZA saying, "Now I am in love," from episode 60-2, part 2. If any of you ever watched it.
No.
I know what you get. I know what you getting at.
Although
You
if you
had my
write it
attention,
down,
but now
if
you
you write
have
this
my
down,
erection.
what?
Sorry.
No, I just didn't hear what you
Yeah,
said.
you. If you got the time, just watch the DBZA abridged. It's
If you write it down,
I got that reference.
if you write it down in the chat, I'll look it up at some point.
Life is finding meaning to me.
Well, guys, I'm out of here. This is Caster Beaumont saying, and I'm out of here.
and yeah, you know what? It's almost 2 hours. How about we all go around saying where we are and where we can find each other? Let's start off with our every other week person, Free Huggles.
Hey, I'm Free Huggles. You can find me over on Salt and Sassy on Mondays and Fridays.
Next on up is Winley, played by our lovely artist of the group, Jack.
The artist of the group. My goodness. I don't know how I got that, but yeah, she picks Pretty much everywhere online. I make games, play games. Uh, yeah, that's all.
Next on up is our flying bird person, JR.
Yeah, I go by JR Kyle. That's Keil on some of my social stuff. Casual Shadow JR everywhere else. And yeah, that's really about it.
All right. Last but certainly not least, he's been here since day one, and now a really critical person in our group. Where I do not think he is like not. He's crucial to this story.
Mhm.
Gods help you all. Hey y'all, I'm Rob. You can find me at RPG Theologian on Twitter and Discord. Kind of, yeah, mostly just hanging out. I don't post too much. You can also find me sometimes on Twitch, just kind of hanging out in the chat for a couple other channels. Primarily, I'm a full-time PhD student studying theology, religion, anthropology, ethics, all that good stuff. Uh, but otherwise, I really look forward to hanging out with everybody and all of you here on Tuesday. So can't look, looking forward to next Tuesday with everybody.
all right. And as you can find me here doing this campaign. Um, uh, every Tuesday with these lovely folks, as well as every Thursday doing another campaign of Call of Cthulhu, and expect this Saturday to be the starting date of a Baldur's Gate campaign on this stream.
Ooh.
So,
Nice.
see you all then. Bye bye.